Well, this is good morning. This is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. You have before you a sefer that's put out by, let me see, where is my pencil? Yep. Rabbi Mordechai Atiyas. Where is it? Mordechai Atiyah. It's a yeshiva, Mordechai Atiyah, and it is a Kabbalistic yeshiva, and it works deeply with many, many concepts. They're beyond me. They're some things that are really, really special. At any rate, let me show you. The name of this book is called the Eitz Chaim Limso Ehem and it for its origins. In other words, we're looking for the origin of the light, and he has it in depictions. And this is the one. This is what I wanted to show you. Let's see if I can get it in such a way that we can see it. Let's get this over here. This is a picture of Ovi. Ovi means thickness. How is the Lavush work? So he has here, first of all, for example, Yisrael Saba V'Tavuna. Let me see if there was something behind it or before it. No. Yisrael Saba V'Tavuna. Turns out that he has 5 lights. This is the Ranchi that we're talking about now. Okay? This is Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida, and as you go further, you would get to the Ein Sof, to Ak and Ein Sof. And so he said, this is Yasa V'chein. This is also true of what we see here of Abba Ve'ima, Eric Anpin, and Atek Yamim. They all have a similar form. Well, what is that form? It has a vertical form, and it has a horizontal form. Now, what does that mean? It's really, for me, it just seems like it's completely logical. But the basic idea is called Ovi, or thickness. Is that in the highest realms of light, you have a form. Now let's see where we could read it. And the form has these different cylinders. First is Eric Anpin would be the kesser of the form of the light. And then there would be Abba and Ima, right? And one that would be like, it could say, Kotzer, Kuma. So Abba and Ima are actually two parts of him. Okay, so here's Eric Anpin, Abba, Ima, and Zun down at the bottom. It's like you look at this vertically. There are other ways of looking at this. And so we have to be flexible and understand. But what we're trying to say is that from the inside out, it looks like this. And then you go to the next layer outside, it looks exactly the same. And the next layer outside looks exactly the same. And the next layer outside looks exactly the same. And the same form, let me see if, I don't know if I can get it, is here in the parts of Zachar Vanuk. What he's telling us, again, why it's like the Rashash takes the concept of the male and female and puts them together into one parts. And once again, we have the same thing. We have they look exactly the same. Now, the reason why is because in vertical, the world has dimensions, like imagine looking through a prism and it fractures, but the fractures are all the same. And when you're fracturing something, you're talking about fracturing from the outside, which in this case would be over here, and moving into the inside and finding that there is a kernel of light there of Kedusha. Now, this is a concept of Ovi. They're all the same, only further away from their source. Now, why did I bring this over? This is a tremendous safer, and I take good care of it. I actually got 2 of them. There is a company called Beagleisen. And I learned with his first cousin owns this place. At any rate, it's a bookstore, and they can get you things that other people don't. They're not a wholesale. Well, I guess they are. They'll sell anything, but they also have a business of going and finding rare books like that one we just saw. Now let's come over here for a second and go back just to the pattern. And the reason why I brought you to that book of Eitz Chaim Nimso Ehem, looking at the origins of the light, was because we want to see what's going on in the light here. You have two problems when we look at the Rashash. One is to translate the Rashash and understand where he's coming from, because it's bigger than both of us. It's just that's why we're going for the beginning and try to incorporate it and just see how many years, how many days, how many weeks, how many months that we can actually keep working on this. It's necessary to see it all. You got to see it to figure out what he's doing. And that's at least what the best I could say. Now, here we came to the Arbah Mises Beit. Now, this understanding the MATBEAH HABRACha, the bracha starts out by bringing down light. These are oros that have to do with continence. Until you get to a place where all the lights are down at the bottom and you offer your soul. And that's what this is. These are the Arbah Mises Beit, Skilas Refech Ereg Ben Hanek. So bring that down. Now you're coming over here and you say a magic word. Or let's see. Excuse me, said it wrong. Once you bring everything, you offer your soul, that means that all of your whole being, you're lifting that up. And this is called Mayim Nukvin. And this is a picture of the Oros and the mochin. We went through this. And the male and the female. And they go up and up and up till they reach the Rohm Hamaalot. A Yichud is formed between the Av and the Sag of Ak. Madrega Hey Zion, because at any rate that has to do with Nitzutzos. They're bringing Nitzutzos up with them. This is all going up. And when it reaches the top, is called the Av Da'ak and the Sag Da'ak. So it's just the very most closest places imaginable where our imagination is a shaper of thought that our imagination could conceive of, because beyond there's nothing to talk about. So the Av Da'ak looks like this. It's a 72 called Av. And the Sag Da'ak was a 63. These two are going to come together and make a Yichud. When that Yichud happens, all the light starts flowing downwards. Okay, now the details of this we went through in a previous shiur. So because of, we have so much time, so let's see what we can do now. Now, you say back to magic words again. Now we have the explanation, and the explanation should be reviewed and reviewed and reviewed. And the truth is that this is not the last time we're going to see the MATBEAH HABRACha. So we'll get a chance to review it again. But it'll be in different places, slightly different. And so all of these words that the Rashash uses are really to try to give you two different things. The location of the origin of the light, Limso Ehem, like he said, like the origins of the light. Where did it come from exactly? What portal through the membrane of the different universes the light is able to make it through? This causes the light become thicker and more dense, and more physical. And then you say this word Asher, and then these are the lights that are now going to be coming back down to their place. When we had this formation, which appears other places, of how the Yichudim are taking place and bringing the light back down. When you say Asher, well, it's going to go Yakaven, Lahachza, the Makomum. So we're going to bring all the lights that we brought up and cause that Yichud to take place up above, is now going to come back down. Mochin Sha'ala Laman, that went up in Mayim Nukvin. The Hey Partsufi Chagad, this air Anpin of the 5 Partsufim of the Chagad. Remember, we're continuously working on the Chagad because we're in Mochin the Katnus. That's what I think is right. Here's Kesser. I just want to go over this. Remember, I start out with a thing from the Eitz Chaim Nimso Ehem, because I wanted to show you there's a concept of there's a repetition coming off a lot of different times. There are differences. I'm just trying to track it. That's all. I just don't know what the Rashash, his intentions are. Well, at any rate, how he works. Kesser, Chochma, Bina, Das, and all the way down to get to the Netzachod Yesod. Those are the Oros. We said before, this is the Makif, this is the Panimi, Makif Panimi, the middle line always splits, and then there's the left line with the Nukudos that are shaykh to the different lines. And then you come to the mochin. So remember that oros are surrounded by mochin. So that means that inside there's an atom, like we say, there's an atom, a central piece of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu inside of everything. So inside of that is the oros are inside of the mochin. And so these are all the mochin. So ma, ben, and kona, all of those, etc., down like that. And then it ends up, these are all the mochin. Then it ends up with a formation, which I can't really explain why he's doing this, but he creates a 42. Now we know that 42 is mob. Mob is the power to make things go up. So this is the mob of Atzilus. There's a mob of Atzilus, there's a mob of Bria, and a mob of Yetzirah. So all of these are like, I don't know what you say, they're catalysts for moving upwards, or they pull everything down below up. And it is the Pashut, the Male. Now we spell it like this, also like this, and like that. There are 3 different lines and 3 different sets of mochin. And then we have the, what's called, this is the Milui, and this is the Milui of the Milui is 28. So it's 4, 10, it's 14, plus 28 is 42. It's the same thing over here, except that the names are changed to protect the innocent. And then finally, that is, in fact, what I mean to say is that these are the lights, or this is how the light filters, trying to get a grasp of this. And then he just has the Miluyim. What does a Milui do? I don't know right now. Let's go over to the next one. Now you say the next word is Kedushanu. He introduces a new idea. This idea, Yechabin lahamshech miyasod u'malchus diyasos. So now we're going, Yasos is that part of the masking of the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu that goes into Zeranpin. So it's a very strongly operant part. So he says, Yechabin lahamshech miyasod u'malchus diyasos, the tzilus. Then you're going to take there and you're going to shine the makifim, Lamed, and the Mem, the Tzala, Mocha, Samim, Amochin, the Chochma, the Abba, Ve'ima, Ve'yaso. So we're going to combine them, and we're going to make all of this come together with their lights. The lights are going to be the lights of Chaya. And then we're going to go and we're going to look at, these are the lights. And when you look at the lights, you have the light of Kesser, the light of Chochma, Bina Das, and so on and so forth. Middle line splits. That's what it looks like for the Mem. This is what it looks like. These are the lights that are coming out here. Chochmos, these are the Chochmos, he says. We're dealing with the Chochmos. Good. So he says, and then you do the Lamed part. Now the Lamed, as we said yesterday, is that Makif, which is closer to the Guf of Zeranpin. The Makif of Chaya which is the Mem, that is the Makif, not Chaya, but the Makif of the Mem, called the Mem Ditzalim, is further away because it's a much power light of nothingness. Is that the right way to say it? So then we say another magic word, b'mitzvosov. So here he says, binos the Mem, the Abba Ve'ima V'yasos, and here's the binos of the Lamed. Now, exactly why he's going down. It's coming downwards. That's what he's trying to say. He says, if you say Kiddushanu, you're bringing the light closer to you. When you say B'mitzvah, it's another step in your direction. Now, notice, like I say, in Ovi, everything's going to look pretty much the same. What the difference is the power of the light that's behind it. Because as we get further and further away, remember, this is a negative light. This is a light, I mean, if it's possible to say that. I don't know if it's possible to say that. But at any rate, it's a light that is not physical. And so, therefore, I'm saying it's the opposite of physicality. And he's saying something else, is that the separations that are taking place, physicality causes separation. So you have on the one hand that the light of the Ein Sof has to go through physical forms. Here we're talking about the light of the Ein Sof in the form of the Lamed of Abba Ve'ima and Yasos. So that's what it is. That's how it goes. Okay, so we went through Chochma, Bina, and now we're in Mitzvah, and it's going to be the Abba Ve'ima Ve'yasos, it's going to be the combined Abba Ve'ima kind of thing. And then we're coming to the end. The last word, and this is where we haven't seen before, so we'll take a look at it. But once again, try to get this up better. Okay. He says, now you notice the similarity. The formations of the light are the same, but the positions are, this is my thinking. Oh God, this is what I'm thinking this is happening. The formation of the lights are the same, but the position of the light in relationship to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu is changing. And this is the position here. And he writes like this: Yekavin lahamshech, cause the flow. Let's say cause the flow. I got to find a good definition. I'm not happy with my definition of the word hamshacha, lahamshech, flow, stream. I use those kind of words. Yekavin lahamshech makife the lamed mem the tzalmei amochim. So we want to go backwards. We're talking about mochin. The mochim have a lavush, which is called a tselem. And that tselem has a lamed and a mem in it. Now, we said before that the nature of this tselem is that part of the tzadi, the tselem goes into Zeranpin. The lamed and the mem do not. They're too strong. So therefore, they have to stay away. The lamed is closer to the outside of Zeranpin, and the mem is much further away, because they contain a very strong lights of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, which works against creation. That's the thing. Art of creation is 32 Nesivos HaChochma, but actually they're all Gevuros, are the paths of carving into creation. That's all Gevuros. Okay, anyway, just drop that in. The Yekave Lahamshech Makife Lamed Mem the Tzalme Mochin, that is the Tzelem that cover over the Mochin. What mochin? There's a parts of here of the vok of Abba Ve'ima Ve'yasos. So looking at Abba Ve'ima and Yasos, either individually or they're combined in some way, because they do combine. That is the male-female of Abba Ve'ima, and the lower part, which is just Rasaba Tavuna. But it's talking about only the 6 spheros again. 6 spheros is their anpin. 6 spheros is katnus. So let's going on. On the ranchi the ruach shebechem, together with all the lights, and these are here are the lights of the ranchi. Where was that word? The ranchi the ruach shebechem. So pointing out again, he's got them all going to. We'll just see that ruach goes along with zeranpin. Ruach goes along with the concept of Olam Yetzira and Malachim and so on and so forth. That's Ruach. So he says, Im Hanaranchi the Ruach Shebehem. Okay, that's what it says. You have the Mem, it's going to be a duplication for the Lamed. And in the end, it says like this, and let's see, we have that's about the end of time here. Where is it going? So this was the idea. We're constantly getting this idea. He says, where is it coming from? It's not so easy to figure, but we're trying. So over here, it's going to go to the Chabad, the Chagat Dema Uben. It's going to go to the upper 6 spheros, Chesed Chochma Bina Das, Chesed Gevur Teferes, of the Ma, that's the male side. The female side, because now we see that there's a male and female side every place. The Partsufi Kachbad, each one, since it says Partsufi, means it's plural. Of Keser Chochma Bin and Das, so we look inside of them, we're going to go to the Ma'u Ben of those Partsufim. From Olam Yetzira, once again, is the concept of Ruach. So I just know, I'm just seeing what I know about this. Again, a disclaimer that I'm a little bit educated, a beginner. So he's Kachbad, the Yetzira, the Zad, the Tzilus. So we're back again, the Kachbad, the top part, in Olam Yetzira of Zeranpin. That Zeranpin comes from Atzilus. This is where it's going. Now, this is where it's going with the Yetzira, the Abiyah, the Atzilus. Well, going backwards. The Atzilus, that's where we're actually going. This light, all of this stream that we have up above us is pouring down, right, going down. You're going to get the mem is going to come first. It's going to be way, way out there, far away. You're going to get the lamed. And all of this is going someplace. It's going where? Once again, it's going into Atzilus. So he says, in every world, that is, of Atzilus, Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya, this is just a fact, there's an Atzilus of each one of those. So notice, whether it was a concept of an Abiyah to Abiyah. So he says, also the Yetzirah, the Atzilus, the Abiyah, the Yetzirah, and specifically on that one place. Now, again, we're observers, so that's what he's saying. So he says, what Yetzirah we're talking about of the Yetzilus of Zeranpin. That Zeranpin who exists in the Olam Yetzirah, and we're going to the Kachbad of that. Now let's read it. Third time, it's all we get to do. Third time reading it. It says, L'chabad v'chagat demahu ben de partzufi Kachbad. So we know we're dealing with the upper six spheros. That is, of Chochmah Bina Das, Chazak Gvur Teferes, of the male and the female side. These are the mochin coming from Abba V'Ima. The Partsufim, now there's each one of these is a Partsuf, of Keser, Chochmah Bina, and Das, the Yetzirah. So it seems like Yetzirah is an important idea. The Yetzirah of this Zer Anpin, but which Zer Anpin? Now remember, back to the beginning of this year, it turns out that there were all different kinds of Zeranpins out there. There's a Zeranpin of Olam Tzilus and Bria and Yetzirah, and each one of them is going to have a Zeranpin inside of them as we look at them as terms of Partsufim, and it goes on and on and on. So, but on the other hand, it's always the same, because there is a template that's really a little bit about what I think, that's my opinion, is the inyan of Olam Atzilus. Atzilus is the concept of forming a template for the movement of light. But it's got a long way to go. So here we are, Kachbad, the Yetzirah, the Zer Anpin, the Atzilus, the Zer Anpin, and Atzilus, the Yetzirah, but also the Yetzirahs, which again, you're dealing with the Yetzirah concept, and it goes along with Zer Anpin, and it goes along with Teferes, it goes along with different words that go along with it, but it also goes along with the concept of Ruach. But the Yetzirah, the Rabbiah, the Atzilus, with the Yetzirah part of each one of the worlds of Atzilus, Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya of Olam HaAtzilus. Well, that's what we got to. We're on the very last part, believe it or not, that we've been talking about tzitzis. But we'll see how it goes. So it's going to be more here. This is Baruch Fleischman.